In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. In my previous presentation today, I talked about the phrase structure rules of English. Okay, if we want to make sentences, if we actually produce sentences, if native speakers produce sentences, they have got these types of structures in their minds. Okay, so they could be in the three forms that we actually said. It could be something like the tree diagram first introduced, and then the book introduced labeled bracketings, and then rewrite rules. No difference. These are the phrase structure rules of English. In addition to these phrase structure rules, we need something for English. Let us go to page 33. But to begin with, we have to go to page 32. What is the topic down there? Down the page, we have movement. Let's go to page 33, example 1, example 14, the first example here. The book says, what did the child draw? Okay, what did the child draw? This is a question in English, a sentence in English in the form of question. What happens here? When we say, what did the child draw? We mean there's a kind of thing like number 15. Let us see what is number 15. Number 15 says that it is written something like this. The child drew something. Okay, number 15. But what was that something? The child drew something. But what was that? What was that something? So, sentence 14 is the same as the idea that we have on for 15. Okay? So what do we do? In order to understand, it is good for us to go to sentence 16. Okay, look at number 16. First, we say the child drew something, or the child drew what? We say something like this. But what appears at the end of the sentence? We need movement. So we put the word what from the end of the sentence to the beginning. So it is like this. What did the child draw? Okay, so sentences 14, 15, and 16 want to say one thing, that sometimes in addition to phrase structure rules, we need movement. Movement of a WH to the beginning of the sentence. When? Anytime we want to make a question. In English, anytime you want to make a question, you put, look at my hand, the WH to the beginning of the sentence. You put the WH to the beginning of the sentence, like this. What do? We have something like movement. So this is one example of movement. In addition to the phrase structure rules, which says that the child drew an elephant, we need questions. But when we want to have questions, we need movement. Movement of a WH to the beginning of a sentence. Okay? So this is one example. Examples in 14, 15, and 16. All in all, there is one example. We need movement. Okay? Let us go to 17. The 17 is something else. Page 33, number 17 says the elephant was drawn. This is a passive sentence. This is a passive sentence. It is not an active sentence, okay? The child drew an elephant is a active sentence, but the elephant was drawn is a passive sentence. Okay? So let us see what happens here. Again, we need movement. Okay? What do? Just look at number 18. We have the word element, which was at the end of the sentence, but it has to move to the beginning of the sentence in 17. Look at number 18 once more. Drew an elephant. It was something like this. First we had drew, and after that elephant. First we had the verb, and after that we have the elephant, which is the object. You know, in English, all the time, objects appear after the verb, okay? And subjects appear before the verb in English. Okay, so when you want to have a passive sentence needs for the object to move to the beginning of the sentence. What is the result? The result is the movement of the word element, the words element, the elephant, to the beginning of the sentence, and the result is something like number 17. The elephant was drawn, sometimes we say at the end of it, by the child. So number 17 is a passive sentence. Again, in a passive sentence, we need movements. So similar to sentences that appeared, the sentence that appeared in 14, 15, and 16, which we needed movement for making questions, making WH questions, we also need movement in English for passive sentences. Okay? So we are talking about one thing. In addition to phrase structure rules, we also need another thing, movement in English. Okay? Like sentences 14 and sentence 17. Sentence 14 and sentence 17. Okay? Well, let's see what happens in other languages. Just wait. Do we need movement in other languages or not? Do we need movement in Farsi or Arabic or not? We are going to listen to these things just now.